We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the award-winning Pace Radio Show. It's March the 10th, 2021 and we are live here at paceradio.net. Tonight I am joined by my joint host, Julie Chiairello, and her special guests. That's right, there's two of them. And they're loved TV, film, media, getting the word out, letting people know about other people and their businesses and so on and so forth. Instead of me telling you about it, I'm going to have Julie and I are going to have a quick chat, and then they'll be able to tell you everything that needs to be known. Right, Julie?
Absolutely. And your joint host is smoking a joint right now. I was just thinking of that when you said that. Right when you said joint, I was taking a puff of this hash joint.
It's good to see
you're
not in
smoking some organic stardust, it's called.
Oh, interesting.
Super crystally from up here in Mendocino County.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's finely cured.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Finely cured.
And very, very turpalicious.
Mm-hmm.
So I am literally your joint host, Al.
Yes, literally. You've got a joint in your hand. You're smoking some awesome...
With a lit and smoking joint.
Yeah, because, I've heard you, okay. I'm in a location where I can't smoke tonight, so I'm going to have to wait till afterwards. And it sounds
that kills me. Those are my worst shows with you. Those are my worst. It's sacrilegious for me to be talking for an hour and a half without a joint and talking about cannabis. It's just torture.
Yes, but we do what we have to do to help spread the word and help people get their voices louder and louder and all that type of stuff. And I've always got something sitting beside me.
Absolutely, I'm a high functioning stoner.
Yeah,
and it's actually helpful for me to really maximize my potential as cannabis is my worthy companion always.
Keeps you focused?
Absolutely, yeah. I can get actually more emails done. I think that I'm a dancer, and I was always told as a child, Julie can't sit still. Julie can't stay in her seat. I was always up and dancing around the room, and I always would get in trouble. And I think, I missed the whole Ritalin thing, but I think that if I had been like 5 years older, I was born in 1976. If I had been 5 years older, I would have been a part of that drugged out nation, termed hyperactive or ADHD, because it turned from hyperactive into ADHD. So I think it actually is very centering and grounding for me. I've had different time periods, though, when I was a young mother. I really used it more sparingly. And then now I'm more of a daily user now. And I have been for quite a while.
Empty nester. Are you an empty nester?
I mean, we're in transition. We both want to buy land.
Nice.
So, we're saving up to buy land. And eventually, hopefully, we'll have an organic regenerative farm that people can come and visit. So
that would be very nice, for sure.
That's in the plan. That's on the vision board.
Good.
Let's keep working towards it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and there's some people actually, speaking of vision, there's some people tonight that are really a big part, Al, of my team at Skunk Magazine and Skunk TV. I've been working with these guys for a few years. They both are, extremely talented fellows in their own right, and then they've gotten together to form a company. But we've been working together as a team at Skunk TV as well for the last few years, and it's been such a joy to work with them. So I want to bring them on and introduce them each individually, Al, and I'm so excited you can meet another part of our team at Skunk.
Yes.
And everyone who's listening in tonight. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in.
So will these be the guys behind the scene that people don't normally see, that make it all operate?
Yes. Yes, they're the guys behind the camera instead of in front of it, and they're the ones that are helping to create the magic and bring the voice of Skunk up. And we keep raising the level up because these two guys are really talented fellows. So I have Jerome Palencia with us tonight and Mike Rosati. So welcome on, guys. Hello.
They may have their phone muted.
Hello.
Use
Sorry,
them?
I had to unmute there. Yeah, Jerome here, and
Are you muted?
here.
That is the whole. That's the tagline for the pandemic. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So-
Here's Mike. Hi.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing,
Well,
guys?
welcome on tonight, guys. We're so happy to
Great.
have you. And, I wanted to dive in with where this all began, so I'm going to kind of go in chronological order here of, it started with me meeting you, Jerome, at New West Summit, and we really hit it off right off the bat, and I know your cousin, Helene, and Helene and I had been working together, and she said, hey, you guys have to work together. This is meant to be. I know you guys are going to really hit it off, and you guys have shared values. So shout out to Helene. Thank you, Helene. Much love to you.
She says thank you.
And so, Jerome, can you jump in here with what you are doing with Northbound Films and your background and, how you first started to get into film? Let's start there.
Yeah. I guess we got some time, right, to talk about that. And I started. I wasn't supposed to be in film. I was supposed to be a computer engineer major, but I guess that wasn't in the cards for me. But I was in college, and I was supposed to graduate, and then I saw a documentary on women and hip hop, and I was like, wow, I think I want to do that, right, in my life. And so I switched over, and then that was 20 years ago. And so, since then I've been working as a cinematographer, working on music videos, documentaries, short films, television shows, won awards with Vice, worked with Sundance, worked with Anthony Bourdain's crew, 0.0 Productions, and working on currently a reality television show about the social equity dispensary of Burners on Hate in the famous Hate of San Francisco, as well as documentaries on other subjects dealing with psychedelics. But, and that's just what I've been doing in the space just as a filmmaker. And then, I got into cannabis, and that was kind of like a weird story in itself. It was like about 2015, and I had known this young rapper, right, from San Francisco who was starting a brand, right? And it was cookies, right? And so we did the first 5 episodes of Marijuana and Mania with Burner, and then from there, we kind of got a sneak peek into the industry, visiting all the growers, going to Las Vegas, seeing the weed dispensaries, going up to Seattle, then to LA, and it felt like a really wild ride, just riding around with Burner during that time. before the industry was about to take off. And so, I've had that experience to be able to be introduced into the cannabis game, and then from there, working in the space with various people in this space who do events, legacy farmers, social equity brands, and eventually working with Skunk Magazine and Julie, and coming on as the global media director with Skunk. And so I'm honored just to be hanging out, with Skunk and just being part of the brand and help telling the stories of legacy, of regenerative farming, right, of female divinity, of community, of just all the beautiful things that I talk about when I'm hanging out with Julie. And, I'm here also with Mike as well, and we get to, do in tandem with film and photography. And I don't know, I'm kind of going on, but I'll kind of let Mike tell his story side of it as well, and hand it off.
No, and it's such an honor, Jerome, to pause for a minute, and we have plenty of time to hear everybody's stories. And I love that you shared with us the journey, and and I love that you guys have formed this top shelf media, which, as you said, is this combination of your video talent and the team that you've gathered to put out really high-quality, Hollywood-style, high-level pieces. And then for Mike to always be there working and doing high-level photography, it's such a beautiful partnership. And you guys are my ride or die fellows that, through slate, snow, in any situation, we're going to be there, and we're going to have a great attitude, and we're going to have fun. So without further ado, I want to introduce Michael Rosati. Mike, welcome, and can you tell everyone listening in a little bit about your journey into the cannabis industry and your journey into becoming a photographer and working and honing your craft?
Sure. Thanks, Julie. It's an honor to be here. I think it goes back to high school and, dabbling in the various arts, and photography was just one of the things I enjoyed doing. But then I went to college and, tried to get a real degree. But I was interested in music and started going to concerts and bringing my camera with me. The small venues, not the big shows, but I just kind of caught that bug, and then people saw the work, and they'd say, well, hey, do you do weddings, or do you do portraits? And so I just kind of expanded and doing some news stuff. And cannabis wasn't even on my radar, and a friend called me out of the blue 7 years ago and pulled me into a trade show, and I was blown away with what was going on in the space, and so I helped him with marketing and advertising and, putting ads together, which required photography, and then that company pivoted, and I started working with some of the magazines in the space, Dope, Cannabis Now, Culture, some of those early ones, and that are no longer with us. MG was B2B, and Skunk. We connected a few years ago in Napa, I believe. Is that correct? First meeting?
Yeah, and Jerome, I had heard about you. I had heard about your work, and I admired your work. But Jerome said, hey, you got to get together with Mike, and I believe he was the one that gave me your number. But I feel like I've known you for years and years. It's just, we all hit it off quite well, didn't we? And I feel like, the style that you and Jerome have of, seeking out humanity and, old world values We just all hit it off. Once us three got together, I thought that there was magic there as well, in what we were able to bring out.
Kindred spirits,
It was like the Power Rangers.
Wonder if privilege activate.
Totally.
Yeah,
We are the Rebel Alliance.
You all came together. You had the same passion for the same things.
It was an unlikely pairing, bond together by this love and passion, right, for this plant and the community that right that comes from it.
Correct. Exactly.
Absolutely. It was fate. So can you guys tell us a little bit about, I want to kind of go back into each of your careers and maybe share one or two moments that were really struck a chord for you, some milestone moments, also maybe some insight that you gained, and we'll take turns, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, so you want to talk about something in our own careers that we can kind of
go a little deeper with one of those stories that you may have touched on.
Yeah, I mean, so many. I think the one thing that I come across a lot, right, is a brand or organization, company or person, and they just have this story, right, and they want to tell it to the world, and it's just how do you tell that story in a way where it just captures the imaginations of people and the hearts and minds of folks, rather than just making something that's just kind of out there. So I remember that we did a video with Phil's Coffee out of San Francisco, and we did the story with Phil, and it's, we really went in, we made sure that we told the story from a place that was from the heart of the owner and that reached, into the imagination of the customers that they serve, as well as the crew who creates the coffee for the company. And I mean, if you can make a video like that speak for your brand, it just does wonders. And from that video and that process, they were able to get their raise and their money, to grow their company. And from that, wow, I mean, they were able to expand more and go to, a lot more locations and build out the brand. And, it just feels good to be a part of that growth when you can make a video that, it just doesn't speak to, the customer, but it speaks to the employees in that company, and it speaks to, right, the investors, right, who take part in the company. And so if you watch that video, you can see it. It's the story of Phil's Coffee. It's 3 minutes long, and they still use it to this day. And I mean, there's more stories like that, but that was one notable one and so how do you take that experience, right? Like, okay, well, how do you take it to the next brands in cannabis, right? Who they're just one story away. Like they got it all. They have the operations, they have the distribution, they have the marketing. It's all there. They just need one story to wrap it all up and tell it to the world. And that's what we're trying to do is, right, shoot for the moon or stars.
Absolutely, with meaningful stories and told in just gorgeous ways, authentic ways.
Yeah.
So tell us, and you definitely do that. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm a cinematographer, and so you lean on the skills that you have in storytelling, right? And you bring it to the spaces that you enter into. And so, to bring that skill to help, right, paint a picture for folks so they can see that story of your brand, it's a good feeling to have to be able to do that, right, for folks. And I know Mike, he definitely shares that as well and has a story that he wanted to share.
Yeah, for me, it's more, being a photographer, I'm capturing moments. And kind of a similar energy or ethos of capturing the action or energy. And I think of my times in the concert pits and watching the artists create their magic and just trying to just capture those moments. And you don't really think about it at the time, but when I get home and I'm going through them, and the way my eye just managed to catch the light, the emotion of the performer, the music. You can't hear the music from a picture, but you can see it. You get that sense.
Oh, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have such a love for photography in the way that you describe it, because I worked with a photojournalist for 5 years, and I worked with slide film, and so I fell in love with, gazing at different forms, and as you said, these different moments, magical moments that, it's just this in-breath, and you capture it, and it's gone, and you've captured it. And you speak of the music, so that's been a big part of your life, is going to shows. What is like a couple of the memorable shows that you went to, Mike?
Oh my gosh, I keep getting reminders of things that have happened in the years past pop up, or going through folders of images, concerts. Last month, February, would have been Noise Pop, and I've done that for, at least a dozen years. Essentially the South by Southwest that takes place in San Francisco at various venues, and there's even a movie portion, and it's actually over a week long of all these shows around the city, and I was a part of that team capturing that, and you're bouncing around capturing multiple shows, and I think the magic not only being in the pit and just moving around through the crowd, but then also backstage you get to meet the artists and have a little chat and get a sense of where they're from, and oftentimes in that kind of festival, you don't even know that you've never heard of some of these bands. There's a lot of local, small artists, and they come together, and the team of Noise Pop just does an amazing job of curating that and getting these people the platform to share their magic, and that's always been exciting. So that's, unfortunately, they went out of business, kind of folded 2 years ago. So the next would be Outside Lands, another big festival in Golden Gate Park, which 3 years ago actually, the Grasslands Festival, which was something that Jerome and I got to work together on, which was the cannabis side or section, the first ever live performance venue where you could buy and consume. I mean, that was exciting. Not only the music, there were lots of big names at the festival, but just the whole cannabis facet of that story was phenomenal. Well done. Music, one of my favorite bands, Tool. Not many artists get to, or photographers get to shoot them, and the planets aligned, and I've been able to shoot them twice. Those are magical shows. Soundgarden was another one where just absolute amazing concert, and now I have the images to share and relive that now that sadly Chris is no longer with us.
Yeah, that is so heartbreaking. And that leads me to asking Jerome, what it was like to work with Bourdain's crew, and what did you learn during your time there? And I miss both Chris and Anthony, two great fellows gone way too soon.
Indeed.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, Jerome, before we go to break, can you tell us a little bit about your time with the Bourdain crew?
Yeah. So I was fortunate to work with them multiple times, but gosh, I mean, I feel, I mean, it was really cool to work with Morgan Fallon. He's one of the directors in the crew. If you ever see Bourdain, there's that one epic, historic scene where he's rolling up a joint right by the bayou or some kind of small river. Do you remember that scene where Bourdain is just rolling his
I love
joint?
that.
He's looking out. He's just very calm. He's doing it. He's not making a big thing out of it, right, the way you're supposed to do it. And he takes his puff, and it's just his moment, and he's not making a big thing out of it. And then what does he do?
Yeah.
He takes the joint out, and he reaches over to the cameraman, and he passes it over to him. And then you see the camera just kind of adjust a little bit to the side just because the cameraman had to let go and grab it and then had to smoke it, and smoked it. And that right there, you saw the first pass, right, between the subject to the cameraman, at least that I saw on major television, right? And so that was Morgan Fallon, right? Morgan was the one who was the guy shooting in that scene and grabbing that joint. And so just being able to work with him and, just his involvement with just the history of how they kind of, redefined, travel and food, right? That whole genre, right? And just seeing how they got to work, talking about the scenes and how to shoot it, how to light it, how to stay out the way so that we bring out just the moments, it was a beautiful moment to be able to, rock with one of the best, right? And so,
right,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
I mean, they had a magical way of bringing the story out, and like you're a part of a Jack Kerouac novel. This kind of romance and poetry of travel, the things that we remember or hoped that we would have done. I mean, I'm a rock and roller, rock star. So are you. We're pirates sailing the seven seas, being a part of the industry for so long, So, Al, I think that I don't want to miss your break before I jump into another question.
All right, sounds good. We'll do that. We'll go to break. And
okay.
Then you come back. We'll start with a whole new question. All right, Julie and I will continue our conversation with our guests, Jerome and Mike. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Hey growers and grow shops, do you want a 20% increase in yield from your cannabis grow? Then you need Calexa nutrients for bigger, better buds. Grow Micro Bloom is a 3-part premium-based nutrient trio specifically formulated to give you bigger, better buds. Win your own sample kit by heading to CalexaNutrients.com and contact us with your name, email, and catchphrase. We will pick one random name on the Pace Radio Facebook page. So remember, check out Calexa Essential Nutrients for bigger, better buds at CalexaNutrients.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Unmuting him.
Hello. We are back from the commercial break. We are live here at paceradio.net. Tonight on the program, I'm joined by our guests, Jerome Palencia and Mike. I'm trying. Rosata. How does that do, guys? I blew it. I know.
Yeah. A for effort, Al.
See, going into the break, I didn't have time to, I didn't even got their last names straightened out, and so going into the break, I just missed.
It's Rosati, Palencia, and Chiairello.
I know I've had lots of practice with yours, and you know how I messed up yours at the beginning.
Yeah, you'll get it eventually. They'll be on again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The Skunk Mafia. That's right. Oh my God.
I have it written. I have it written down, but I have it written down wrong. Like as far as how to pronounce it. But I'm trying. We're trying.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to. We'll send you a phonetic spelling.
All right. Okay. To your guests and the questions you have.
Yeah. One of the things that's funny tonight, I was thinking about it because I'm doing the Emerald Cup judging this year, and I'm doing the tincture judging, and I was sitting here. I was like, why am I so fucking hungry and tired and sleepy? I just want to sleep and eat, and I had totally spaced that I had been dosing myself all morning on these various tinctures, finishing up my my judging. And so that's one thing I wanted to talk about in the next half hour is just the incredible work this year. The Emerald Cup definitely took notice, I think, of the last few Emerald Cup videos that we've done with Skunk TV, and also with just your body of work, and also the work that you guys did with the Elders Council and connecting with Phoebe. But now this year you guys are working with the Emerald Cup, Top Shelf Media, and so can you guys each want to give you guys, take your time and talk about what the experience has been like, and perhaps, share some of the stories and highlights, and then let's dig in for our friends Tim and Taylor Blake and Phoebe and the whole crew over there, Chad and everyone at the Emerald Cup. Let's talk about your guys' journey this year with them.
Yeah. It's been a beautiful journey, right? Like these Emerald Cups, they've been going on for a while now, and I was relatively new to the scene. I think only going to Emerald Cups maybe about as far as maybe 3 or 4 years, or 4 or 5. Yeah, probably 3 or 4 years, five back then. And this is kind of the situation. Was like, okay, we can't afford tickets, so who do we know? How can we get in? We need a ticket. We need media passes. There's always been this dance, right? Of how do we get in? And then you get in, and it's just this amazing a moment where you're just kind of meeting everybody, and then now you kind of fast forward. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to do as much work to try to finagle our way in. We've been able to kind of build with the crew and the team and work with them on a closer level, which has been a great part. To also have Julie too as well, and so I guess it really started off, I would say, with just the Emerald Cup. As you know, this year the show was canceled, right, and it had to get pushed back, right, and so that was the first time, right, that's happened. There's only maybe one other time when the Cup didn't happen, right, and so for that to go on, for us to enter into the Cup's team at like a stressful, right, traumatic time was definitely a situation that required, a lot of everyone to just kind of put in and give in. And so the first, how could we put out the idea like, hey, you know what? Despite what was happening with COVID, there's still a show. We can still carry on the tradition. No, we can't meet in person. And there's still great work to be made, and there's still great judging to be made. But the challenge there was, okay, well, how do we communicate that, right, to the community, right? Because everyone's just kind of, right, still dealing with COVID, and so. That was our first assignment together. A team was try to think about how can we communicate, to the community out there, the cannabis community, that, the show is still going on, and that, we want their participation and to remember what it's about and what are the new things happening in the show this year, right? In terms of the approach.
Well, and it was your idea too, Jerome, right? That to capture the experience of bringing on the judges and what it was like to be a judge and what it was like to be a winner, and what it was like to partake or be a part of the Emerald Cup experience. So you've been able to get all of this meaningful footage, that, right?
Correct. And so it's like, you want me to talk about that?
Yes, please. Just to expand a bit further into what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you think about it, right? It's like, there's no money. We need submissions from the folks, and so we said, okay, well, let's talk to the winners, right, from the past shows, and let's ask them, what was their experience when they were making their ingredients? What was it like even deciding to go to the show? Did you, right? What was the decision process like? What was it like when you, in the moments before they said the winner, right? Well, what happened when they called your name? What happened when you held that trophy in your hand, right? What happened afterwards? How did your business grow? And so we said, why not have those conversations and record them and put them out there so that for the folks out there who are questioning if they still wanted, to be a part of the show, that they...
And people are loving those videos. Those videos have been a total and complete hit at bringing that essence, and this is why I work together with you as well, is just bringing that humanity, that authenticity, that spirit out in a way that's just great, and it's beautiful and beautifully done in terms of filming and framing, and what you're able to pull off as such a small team. How about you, Mike? Can you tell a little bit about your experience on this journey so far?
Yeah, sure. So for me, the Cup was one of the better shows. I got to go because I was connected with media, so I was covering the show. So I had my pass and access. It was just always well done. Right? Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Ooh, sounds busy out there. That was close.
Classic.
Be careful, my fellow warriors out there in the wild.
Appreciate it. So I always enjoyed the Cup, the judging, the booths, and the vending. It was an amazing show. So connecting this year, I was sad to learn that it wasn't going to happen, but then that ray of hope of that they were going to do the virtual one, and they needed help and to create some assets to share with the world about what's happened and what they're going to do. So, working closely with Tim and Taylor and some of those iconic judges like Nikki and Swami, Soil King, and some of the great farmers and manufacturers, and hearing their story and going deeper into the whole festival, it was really eye-opening. Especially, the winners, how the farmers have struggled trying to get their product to market, and then they participate in the Cup, and even if they don't win, even if they're like a top 10 finish, that the phone doesn't stop ringing, and it's such a positive response.
Those stories, it takes guys like yourselves to help bring those stories out to the public, because some people just think all of a sudden, poof, there's some excellent cannabis there, but no, there's a story behind that cannabis.
Oh yeah, it's not just the jar on the shelf.
That's right.
It's the farmer and the land and what they did, toiling in the sun, and even the indoor guys have a story, and the mixed light guys, and it's fascinating.
It is.
Learning something every day.
Yeah, you sure do, I imagine, because of talking with so many different people, and I know just doing these shows, it's the same thing. Like Julie brings on guests every 2 weeks, and hearing their stories, and one of the soil guys was talking about when in the younger days in the community, everybody was growing cannabis, and that was what he knew, And so it's interesting to hear their stories, and being able to bring that out in film or in video is always something that's it's an art to do.
Yeah, going on location, you guys have done some really fun filming this year, and there's going to be more to come, but, being at Swami and Nikki's, I love them, up at 4:30 or 4 in the morning or some such thing. Talk about that a little bit, you guys. Jerome, if you want to start.
I would love to. It's, it's like at some point, learning about that, it's just real beautiful just because, when you decide to go deeper, when you decide to go further, right, it just gets more beautiful. We're like, Swami lives in a place where it's not like, they have a lot of visitors and they can get a lot of people. So, we had decided, okay, let's tent on the land. Let's grab some tents and let's just like sleep on the land. And Swami was like, really? You guys want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, we do. And so.
And just for those listening in, it's Laytonville, California area. Laytonville, California. Go on.
Right. In the heart of the Emerald, right? Right, literally in the heart of and Emerald Triangle, right? And so we tented on the land, and it was just fun, It's like right by the garden too, And so when you do that, you really, when you wake up with the farmer, when you go to bed with the farmer, it's not like you're just popping up there and you're asking for them to pose. Like, no, you're really kind of going by their terms, right, and how they move, right, and when you do that, they reveal stuff to you, and one of the cool things that we were able to learn about was the 5 a.m. harvest, and we're like, why do you have to wake so early in the morning to like harvest the weed? Why can't you do it like everyone else who does it at like 9 or 11 a.m.? And when you learn that with Swami and Nikki that they describe in beautiful detail is, it's the best time. It's the best time, right, to harvest. It's when the terpenes, right, are at their most. When you
right in the moonlight and the starlight, those terps are full before, because they're so ephemeral. So they want to pick them at the most potent, vibrant moment of their richness, and that's before the sun comes out, before it starts to degrade those very ephemeral and kind of very delicate terps. So exactly, they're very earth connected and connected with the seasons and the moon cycles in their growing patterns in every way.
Yeah, and when we're on the land and they're one of the helpers and the young farmers, they're kind of tripping off us, and then we would hang out, and he was like, what, like what we're learning here is like the terpenes, they're really like the sunblock for the plant, and it's like they're protecting the plant during the day, and then they start to off gas during the night, and then after that they're replenishing in the moonlight so they can get that protection again, right before the day. But before that happens, and that's when they do the harvest, and they do that for, I think, other vegetables like cabbage and other vegetables in the ag industry, right? And so things like that, like you can't get that just trying to drop in and do a photo shoot. You have to really like live with them. And we only did it for a day or two, but imagine if we stayed longer. But I just feel like that's what it's about, is starting in a place where you're in the soil, in the roots. I kind of see it as a metaphor, is like, how do you study a plant? Do you want to uproot it from the soil and put it in a place where it's just going to wither and die? Or do you want to go to where the plant is at, where it's in the root, where it's still connected, where it's still full of life? What's the story that it tells? What does it say? So it's beautiful to do that, right? With the farmers, right, in the Emerald Triangle, and bring those stories out so that we're preserving the terps.
No,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
The stories of the farmers is the terps, as us the story makers are trying to preserve, right? For the people who watch the content, it's video terps. That's what we that's what we do.
Yeah, video terps, exactly. And you're going really deep, like making waffles and pancakes with Swami in the morning, and really really living it, Mike, right? What was memorable about that experience for you?
I mean, it's any chance you have a moment where a couple is just cooking in the kitchen. Like, actually, if we just had a whole conversation about the terps, but guess where we had that conversation if you watch the video? It was in the kitchen. We asked them the topic about the terps in the kitchen while they were making the pancakes. Swami gave his secret recipes for the pancakes in the video, right? And just to be in that kitchen, it's small. You could hear just the cooking and the tools, and you smell the foods that they're making, and they're just talking to each other. And I'm like, wow, like this is special. Swami and Nikki cooking pancakes, talking about terps in their kitchen after the moonrise harvest.
No, it's wonderful. How about for you, Mike? Was there anything that you would like to add to that experience?
Of Swami's farm? Yeah, that was a magical spot, and all the farms that we Amazon John, yeah, all these characters and infamous people and people making magic product, whether it's a plant or an edible, drinkable, or a nutrient for the plant. I mean, it's just an awesome community to be able to be a part of and observe and capture their moments.
I was trying to get him to talk about the Amazon John, Julie, that we did with Sundance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Mike did the photo shoot there when he put up the backdrop and took the photos. Well,
I know.
Right before dinner.
Yeah.
That was a good moment with.
When we come back from the next break, I want Mike to talk about his Canna Faces work, and I want you guys to have a chance to talk about any other important projects that you're currently working on that are close to your heart, in addition to the work with Emerald Cup. I knew that there was going to be quite a bit to talk about with the Emerald Cup, just because it does bring together so many different interesting people, right? What has it been like to getting a chance to spend time with Tim and Taylor Blake and follow them around and kind of see the whole creation process?
I mean, you said to yourself, the Skunk brings together interesting people, and that's because Tim, right, brings together interesting people, and just seeing him work. I mean, it's the guy's so genuine, so so many ideas, excitement. He likes to write. He likes to talk about psychedelics. He loves to dance. He loves music. He loves his relationship with Taylor. He loves seeing her, take it to the next level. I love seeing their dynamic with each other, a professional and the father-daughter thing. And I myself, grew up in a family that had a business. And so just to see that play out, it has been beautiful. And I'm thinking, wow, like, these are this is who, like, is helping to lead, a certain part of the cannabis culture. And I'm like, I'm blessed, along with Mike, to be able to not only know them but also help capture, right, and be a part of the mission, right, that they're trying to spread, because it's we're all part of it, right?
No, absolutely. It's a global movement. I was on mute for a moment. It's a global movement. I mean, that is what John Vergados, the previous editor, first saw when he spoke to Tim 15 years ago, when Tim was just still at Area 101, and said, Tim, this just isn't just a trance party where people are selling their harvest wares, and there's a little competition. But this is a much bigger thing, and it could grow into a much bigger thing. And John from Skunk was the one that first suggested it, and now Skunk has been covering the Emerald Cup for the last 15 years, which is just so amazing. And now it has grown into this world-class event, and that's what John had predicted so long ago. So it's quite gratifying to see, because we do need, I'm always thankful that we have this space that we can communicate about organics and the regenerative movement, both in farming and in how we do business. It's so important that we have a place to come together consistently every year and have that conversation.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, you know, to see right media and events, right? They're not just words, right? When you see Skunk and Emerald Cup, right? Just through the years, right? Supporting each other and being part of pushing the movement. So it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's true for Mike, to be able to be a part of that is a blessing. And so, it's right at a certain point you're like, wow, and then now you're like, okay, well, now you got to roll up your sleeves now, right, and do the work. But I think it's nice, that we're coming from a place, before we go to a place, right?
That's right. That's right. Okay, well, Julie, you ready to take that break?
Yes, go ahead, my friend.
All right, Julie and I will continue our conversation with our guests, Jerome Palencia and Mike Rosata. How did I do, guys?
Rosati.
Rosati. Getting closer.
Rosati.
All right, you're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive. The only way to go.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Are you interested in Canadian and international cannabis news? If you are, then catch myself, Kim Cooper, and Al Graham for our live reefer report on the Pace Radio Network, found at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Hey growers and grow shops, do you want a 20% increase in yield from your cannabis grow? Then you need collected nutrients for bigger, better buds. Grow Micro Bloom is a 3-part premium-based nutrient trio specifically formulated to give you bigger, better buds. Win your own sample kit by heading to collectsanutrients.com and contact us with your name, email, and catchphrase. We will pick one random name on the Pace Radio Facebook page. So remember, check out Collexa Essential Nutrients for bigger, better buds at collectsanutrients.com.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. Their values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the Pace Radio Show. And don't forget, you can always catch the live show afterwards. If you don't catch the live show, you can catch the podcast afterwards. And you can do that at Spreaker, Apple and Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, on and on and on. There's several of them that are there. Tonight, the program is joined by our guests, Jerome Palencia and Mike Rosati. And they're with Top Shelf Media. And majority host Julie Chiairello, who is here as well. She's the co-owner and editor of Skunk Magazine. Oh, and talking about Skunk Magazine, I believe we're going to talk about some more Skunk Magazine into this break, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I was sharing before when we were on the break, one of my favorite memories with the guys. Of course, our times at the Emerald Cup have been really fun and capturing footage there. But then, last year, going out together to Pacific Palisades and filming with Cheech and Chong definitely is one of my now favorite memories with the guys. And it was quite an adventure, quite the journey, quite surreal. To be there at Tommy's house and kicking it in his backyard and and having a wonderful time and laughing our asses off, and everything came out really well, and everyone was really happy with the whole experience, and was happy with what we brought out, and so it's pretty special. That's a memory that we all share.
And these would be the guys who produced the cover shot?
Yeah, so Mike did the cover shot, and then Jerome was doing some video. That was how I was able to capture the interview as well.
Yes, correct.
And transcribe the interview.
Correct. Nice. The guys who are behind the scene that bring that forward. So.
That was a fun visit. You go down and you're going to meet someone of that stature, historic nature, and you're focused on the job at hand, and you don't want to screw up, and you want to do it right and make sure the equipment's working and all that. So I didn't get awestruck until after, and I thought, we've only got maybe 30 minutes, an hour with these guys because they've got a busy life and schedule, and we're just going to get in, get out, get the shot, and we were there over 5 hours hanging out with them, and they were just so genuine and laid back and joking and trading stories.
We had lunch.
With Cheech and Chong.
No, wow, really?
I played harmonica with Tommy.
Oh, did he sing?
Got the ukulele, and they were jamming. I was like, what is going on here? I didn't sign up for this. I'm here to take photos, and
I'm here to work.
Party.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah. You went into work. It sounds like you went into work full of business, and 5 hours, and you had quite the experience. A lot of people, I'm sure, would like to have.
Yeah, and we're going to keep on working with them.
Hang around with Tommy and Chong for 5 hours,
And they enjoyed it so much, Al, that we're going to keep working with them.
Nice.
Which
Very
is such
good.
a blessing.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing more with them in the year ahead, and there's going to be more stuff that we're going to be sharing online with them. So it's going to be really fun.
Great to hear.
They're great guys.
Nice. They're great business guys. They've been great actors and performers, and they're musicians, and
Yeah, just
now
to hear
they're
them
great.
talk, Yeah, just to hear them
They're great
talk,
elders
right?
now too. They have wisdom, and Chief just launched that multi-million-dollar Chicano museum. He's done so much for Latinos, and Tommy also is he's a really conscious fellow, and with a conscious parent. And they're both just great humanitarians. They really have, I feel, done a lot for humanity, because as much as they were joking around, they really have done a lot for us to destigmatize, and open things up, And speaking of open things up, I wanted to talk with the guys, because we've been hard at work on relaunching the Skunk forums, which are going to be open source. People are going to be able to upload photo, video, articles. It's going to be able to be archived. Things will be held in chronological order, so people will be able to go back and find things. So would love to touch on that with you guys. So you guys are going to be a big part of the forums as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's Skunk, right? They want to take this, right, knowledge, right, of how to grow the plant for yourself to the masses, and bring together, teachers who are knowledgeable and masterful in the craft. And I don't know what I'm more excited about is being able to help create the media and the content to help promote that, or the fact that I might be able to grow some weed now, because I'm definitely going to have to, personally sign off on the skunk growing program.
Talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Exactly.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to be learning many ways. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn.
It's great. It's forums, as Julie knows and the listeners know. Skunk Forum is where I learned to grow myself. So I can tell you can be very successful by doing so. Yes, that's right.
Really? How was that? Was it tough?
This was several years ago. This is about 12 years ago, and I worked with the Rev directly right on the forums. Everything we did was right on the forums for everybody to see. And in the process of teaching me, he also taught many others on how to do it. It was like 52 pages long, the thread. It was huge.
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
So what did you grow? What was the first bud that you grew that you're like, wow, I'm actually pretty good?
Oh, a shishka berry.
Oh.
Yeah, shishka berry. Yes, it was a very good one. This was back 13 years ago.
Yeah, and so there are times you're like, man, you hit a wall, and then you took pictures, or you described the problem, and they help coach you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Through the moment.
Yeah. You could post the pictures, and he would look at all that. And you know what was interesting, Julie? I've never said this to you, but what I saw in articles and stuff was situations that I had gone through, and he'd be explaining it. So it was always helpful to see them not only in the forum, but also to see them in the magazine as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's nice to see this kind of multifaceted, or have this multifaceted experience. I think that's, for me, that's what it's always been about. I mean, as a woman of business of 26 years, for whatever reason, the leading edge for me has always been to bring out the authentic, to bring out the intimacy, to help people feel connected. And so, yeah, I'm really super excited because people are going to be able to talk with the top 100 educators in the world in their different areas of specialization, from soil science to genetics to any number of things within the umbrella of this theme of the green renaissance that we're always talking about, which I'm just excited. We're going to have a psychedelic room, and it's going to take on a life of its own.
Yeah.
As people start to hop in. So, yeah, and we're building it to have legs so that it can be built to last and it can be built to grow. So it's going to take about 6 to 7 weeks because of that. But we're on target for it to be out there within 7 weeks' time.
Nice.
At the latest.
Nice. Make it the go-to spot.
Yeah, and it's going to be a spot where we can discuss kind of the leading edge. One of the things that Jerome has been diving into, which I'm still learning about, is the crypto world and NFTs. And we've been talking about, we've formed a group about putting out some skunk covers as NFTs and other ideas for NFTs that we're kicking around. So Jerome and we're going to probably do a column both online and in print talking about that leading edge and that world. You want to share something about that, Jerome, and what you've learned or anything that you think people should know or look into?
Yeah, it's something that's been recently, something that we've been recently looking into, right? And, it's just like you see the trends that are happening in society where you hear about this thing called blockchain and how tokens are being made and because of that kind of technology, right, where you're able to take things that and mint them. So in other words, I'll state it like this: you collect guitars, you collect stamps. So now there's a whole trend. Well, now when you collect that and show your ownership, you're now doing it in a way that is digital. You can show a digital signature, and not only can you show that you digitally own it, but then now you could resell that ownership elsewhere. And so that kind of technology hasn't been around yet, and now we're Skunk is in the position to work with experts in the field, right, so that when we help launch the Skunk NFT, it's going to be a thing, right? And just imagine all the old covers with Skunk, right, from all the old times. You get to resurrect that, right, and let folks have the ownership of that and resell it on the market, right? And so that's something that we're looking into. These revolutions take time, and it's kind of cool for Skunk. Skunk has always been at the forefront of revolutions, so the blockchain is just another one, right? That Skunk is ready to infuse, right, some good old regenerative and sustainable, right, practices, right? Imagine if you think about money, right? It's usually based off of value, right, of gold. But now we can say, you know what? This money is based off land. This money is based off hemp. This money is based off regenerative practices. We're in a time now where we get to redefine currency and what that value is, and at the same time, document the history of how we do that. So, really exciting stuff, and I'm glad that we're entering it with a skunk punk rebel type attitude, because I think that's needed in a time like this where we need to shake things up. And so, yeah, watch out, crypto and cannabis. it's coming. I think it's we wrote a slogan and we made a club on the clubhouse. You said the blockchain and the black market are the same. Welcome to the revolution.
Right. Well, it's all this counterculture stuff that is breaking apart old systems and giving strength to new systems, improved systems, because it's an evolution. It's a renaissance. It's time for shit to change. And we need the free thinkers. We need the rebel thinkers to ground their ideals into reality and make them successful in the world. I think I'm thinking a lot right now about Buckminster Fuller and how we just have to keep building the new so that the old becomes obsolete. But, there's also important, I was thinking of Canna Faces, Mike, and I wanted to give you a chance to speak about your project and honoring the elders in the space and why that is so important.
Yeah, the genesis of the Faces of Canna started with needing images for trade show brochures. Speakers would submit, and sometimes it was black and white, sometimes color, sometimes high end, sometimes a phone snap, selfie, and wanted to have a clean look for those publications. But then I started to think outside of that. It's not just the lawyer, the CEO, the expert on XYZ. There's history and community, and I wanted the infamous, the characters, the leaders of the movement more. And kind of long story short, connecting with Skunk as well as the Cup, I kind of the opportunity to bring all those amazing people together, the elders, the people who made it possible for us to even be here talking about it, and all the businesses and the things that we've been able to do with cannabis. If it wasn't for them, it just wouldn't be here. So I wanted to, the Faces is to capture and honor those people that before us, everyone who's played in the space. You don't have to be a CEO, but someone who was just part of that movement, someone who, honored, respected the plant. And when the opportunity and the bandwidth to meet these people, I'll grab shots and, add it to the collection. And, maybe it's something I print as a book. Maybe it'll certainly live on Skunk. We'll post images, and we'll have to circle back and capture their stories. Their connection to the plant. I think that would be also key to document. But like Dennis Perrone and Granddaddy Mike, just to name a couple. I mean, I've mentioned Nikki and Swami and Tim and Taylor now coming into this, and so many people that we've just in this past year alone that we've been able to connect with. It's going to be a nice visual monument, I guess, to the people of Canna.
Absolutely. I'm excited to share it more. This is your call to action, sir, to start uploading some of the great images and a description of it. And Mike, tell people where they can find you with all of this.
Let's see. So Top Shelf Media, a lot of the stills are mine, and that's all Canna focused. So Instagram, topshelfmedia.ca for California. We have a Facebook page as well. I personally, my IG is Rosati Photos, Rosati Photos, and that's actually my handle for all the social medias. So I can be found out there. beyond cannabis and live performance, I also, my passion project is abandonment. And I like to sneak into old factories, school, churches, things that have just been forgotten. And so you'll see some of that decrepitude in my collection of posts.
Those will tell a story, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. The old structures.
And how about for you, Jerome? Can you tell us any other projects that you wanted to share with the group, and then also where people can find you at the end there? But take your time. Share with us anything that you wanted to share that's close to your heart.
No, I think I'm pretty dedicated. Skunk and Emerald Cup and the cannabis community is going to keep me pretty busy. But I think one cool project that I see happening is a documentary on psilocybin. So I feel like that's the time now, and people are ready to talk about it, share it. You're hearing it louder more than ever. So just. I put it out there, and now, just people are starting to come into my life, and it's just starting to become louder. So that might be something on the horizon. But also working on a documentary / TV show that we're shooting a pilot for. It's about, what are we calling it? We're calling it The Legal King of Weed, I guess, for now. It's a documentary about, a social equity-based dispensary on Haight Street. So, yeah, just making films and of that nature, and dope photos with Rosati, just staying busy. So that's where you can find me.
And where can people find you, Jerome?
Yeah, you can find me. I started with a production company, Northbound Films, so you can find me on there. That's Northbound Films with an S, and you can see documentary work that we've done on there, and top shelf media work as well.
There was a couple of photos, Julie, that you shared for me in order to do the post, and it was a garden, a couple of people in the garden, and some big buds and stuff like that. I had some people that commented. A guy who commented on there. He was looking for a job. He thought that maybe he could get into quality assurance. He wanted to test those buds, he said. So there you go.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
That's right.
Yeah, that was over with Duke's High Grade. Duke's High Grade was a really super fun shoot, and there are buddies over there, Mike and Dallas. Right? We had the chunder, the big colas.
Yes.
That are chunderific.
It made a person look at them, want to reach out and taste them. So, good job. All right.
Yeah.
No.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, you know what? The extra pair of lungs won't hurt, so by all means, send them over.
They're big bats, and they'll knock you out.
Not enough. Oh, I guarantee it.
Nice. All right, so they've done the shout-outs. Julie?
Yeah, Jerome, tell more people where they can find you. I only heard one place. So Northbound Films, you're also Top Shelf Media.
Yeah, that's it. Just we already talked about.
And your website? What's your website?
Northbound Films with an S.com. Northbound Films.
Okay, and Mike, you have RosatiPhotos.com?
Yes. And Rosati Photos on all the social.
All right.
Okay. And then if you guys want to find me, Skunk Magazine, also Julie Chiairello, Chiairello, feel free to follow me. And we have Alex and Allison Gray and David Bronner on the cover for spring, and that's going to be hitting the streets in April. Thank you to everybody who tuned in.
Yes, super. All right.
Thank you.
Just a reminder that Pace Radio Show will be back next week. joint host Kim Cooper will be joining me with her special guest. You can find the Pace Radio Network on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on the web. Thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, BMAHydroponics.com, Camelford Lifestyle Shop in downtown Camelford, and Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions, found at drbuckcts.com. Also, thank you to our guests, Jerome and Mike. Thanks, guys, for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on and talking about some of these stories, sharing some of your stories, and how you got involved in all this.
Thank you. It's been a great pleasure.
Great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mike and Jerome. Love you guys so much.
Thank you. Love you
And
too, Julie. Bye, y'all.
And as always, thanks to you, Julie, and thanks to our listeners for tuning into the program. Good night.
Thank you, Al. Good night.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Do you want to hear what patients and cannabis advocates have to say? If so, then catch the Pace Radio Show Wednesday nights here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.